start to put tension on my string drawback, I was like, okay, I'm gonna smoke.
It's him. You can look at the horns when he's dead. I'm in the zone. Let the arrow go is perfect.
When they lose their front shoulders, you start, that's how you know they're smoking.
Went about 5-10 more yards. We probably went 20 yards total. Kept them, we tried getting back up. And I saw him pull up.
We rushed 4 meters rods that night. We got like 166 and something like that. And then the next day we came out to 163 even.
You're listening to the White Cat Outdoors podcast, bringing you to the table where we talk about the outdoors.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is episode 81. We made it a little bit closer to 100. We're super excited about that, and keep throwing your suggestions at us.
Yeah,
for
so
what
we
you
already
want.
got a few suggestions.
Yeah, I saw it. We did get a couple, so keep them coming, and we'll see what we can figure out for episode 100.
We'll call it the episode.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it. You heard from Nick. Tom's also here.
I sure am. And
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here, too.
Yeah, it's a great day. It's super hot, and there's a storm rolling
Very
in. so,
humid.
yeah, it's pretty
Thick,
miserable.
as some people would say. The air is thick.
Yeah.
I mean, I was inside the garage today. There's no AC or anything, but in the shade all day working on a knife, and it was disgustingly sweaty in there.
Yeah, it was a rough day.
I'm actually working on hand sanding everything right now. I've got probably between the last couple of days probably 6 hours of hand sanding, and I'm not even close.
That's nice.
Yeah, I was going for a mirror finish on this one. It's wild, up to 3,000 grit.
Whew.
Yeah,
I
it's
bet
like
gonna look nice.
using a paper towel. By far the best looking knife I've ever done.
Yeah.
So
Well, I can't wait to see it.
I'll show you.
So, what are we talking about?
This one episode was brought right out of the brain of Tom. So I'll just turn over to Tom and he will bring us right in.
So what I wanted to talk about is, by the time you guys are listening to this, it's going to be June 12th. I'm sorry, July 12th. Heart of trail cam season. Bucks are really starting to put on some horn. And so we want to talk about, how we utilize trail cameras throughout the summer to, pattern deer, maybe pick a target buck, different things like that. So as I mentioned, this is the time of year where most people, I think, are really starting to get heavy into getting the cameras out, getting your bait sites and mineral sites out, trying to get inventory on.
Yeah, because now you really got something to look at on their heads. Before, you're just kind of looking at just nubs. And
Oh, those bases look good.
Exactly.
You see it all over Facebook, oh, this one's going to be a big one. What do you guys think about this one? Is it going to be a big one this year?
Yeah,
wait a little
he's
bit.
got 1.5 nubs sticking up.
They always look thick as hell.
Yeah.
So I guess our primary setup is on either a food source, this time of year anyway, food source, or a bait mineral site that we've set up. And I think for most of us, by that I mean me, Nick, and Frank, right now our main objective is to get an inventory on what we have in the area, what we look for. We're putting the cameras on very high deer density areas. They're going to come to a pile of corn. They're going to come to a salt block or a food plot.
We just put 2 more mineral sites out yesterday. And basically what we do, we're not just blindly walking and then throwing up a mineral site and putting a camera on it. What we try to do is find high traffic areas already. Mm-hmm. So find those established deer trails close to some thick cover. Just find those little trails, and then we just went maybe 10 foot off of those just so that they can't help but walk by them naturally. Mm-hmm. And that's worked really well for us, is putting them on natural locations that deer are going to frequent anyway, and give them a reason to hang out there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do too. Just wherever your main traffic areas are, just throw something there to pique their interest, because you can throw it on that traffic area, but a lot of times you'll just get a quick pass by of a deer walking on the trail. But if you get something to grab their attention for a couple seconds, you'll actually get a better look and get him to turn his head and really see what you have, instead of just, okay, there he goes, he's in and out of the frame.
Yeah, and which I know we're mostly PA, but we got some New York listeners as well, and they can't use minerals and stuff. But what I've read and tried is using like actual deer scents as well, just to pull them a little bit. I mean, you don't want to get too crazy with it, but I've seen people set up like ropes, just a real thick natural rope with like tarsal gland or like that forehead gland scent, just to give the deer something to interest them to stop for a second instead of just heading down the trail.
And where we're putting the cameras now isn't necessarily where we're going to be hunting, where we're going to hang our stands.
Yeah, not really at all.
Yeah, we're trying to get the most pictures of deer. So, like I said, we know what we have, and it's not like I get a big buck on camera and I'm like, okay, this is where I'm going to hunt. That's not how it is. I'm just trying to figure out
that he's there.
Yeah, because most of the time, if you see him right here all the time in June and July, odds are in October they're not going to be in that spot.
Correct. Yeah.
But at least he's in your block, and you know that you're going to want to spend time somewhere in this area.
Well, and that's a really important factor for Tom and I this year on our home base property. We had 3 mature bucks, 1 poached and 2 hit by car.
Yeah, and that's kind of a downfall to trail cams. Me and Nick were getting this monster buck on camera all summer long, and we had really high hopes, and we were getting like close to the season daytime pictures of this buck. He was very active on camera coming out to this one food plot.
And it was easy to tell, just like direction. He was always showing up. We made a pretty good educated guess on where he was bedded, just starting to put the pieces together like you do with your cameras. And then he got a picture of his head on a tailgate. So that was pretty shitty info. But what I was getting at with that is that this is kind of a building year where me and Tom, 3 bucks that we were watching on camera that were on in our top 5 or top 10, whatever you want to call it, 3 top contenders that we were after got either poached or hit by a car. So this year is going to be interesting because we're just trying to. It's almost like
you're starting over looking for those.
We had some other really nice bucks last year, and some that were some nice 2.5-year-olds.
I saw a bunch of different 2.5-year-olds during the late muzzleloader season. So
we just trying to relocate them, seeing who made it through the winter.
Hit by a vehicle. I mean, I'm pretty confident they made it through muzzleloader season. So as long as they didn't get hit by a vehicle, they got to be in the same general area, I would imagine. But back to Nick.
On what?
What you were gonna say?
No, I had already brought it up. Like this is kind of like a building year for us. Just trying to locate new deer, and we've actually moved some cameras into some areas that we haven't really even hunted. I think my dad purchased the property
2 years ago.
I think wasn't last year was our first season on it.
No, because we hunted muzzleloader.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, like last year was our first full season there.
Yeah.
And even though the property was in the family, it was pretty well hunted by other family members. So Tom and I stayed out of there for quite a while. Like Tom killed his first buck there back when 10.
It was 10. Yeah.
Before tigers could smoke.
Before tigers could smoke, exactly.
Like 13 years ago or something like that. And then since then, we have not really been on there. So even though it was property we were semi-familiar with, it had been logged.
Changed a lot.
Quite a bit. So last year, we didn't get too invasive. It was kind of, we had our couple food plots. We didn't really venture in too much.
It's more of an observation year.
Yeah. And
that's kind of where we're at with our one big piece. It got like clear cut. We lease it, so we didn't have really any control over it. So me and Dad were out putting up cameras, and it's literally like starting over on a brand new piece of property. I mean, I'm sure they'll still use their basic areas, but they're going to travel through differently. So
which changes everything when it comes down to wind and being within 25 yards of it.
Yeah, exactly. If they move their path by 50 yards, your stand that was money before is junk now.
Yeah.
So like you were saying with logging, it definitely
totally
have to
change.
You have to relearn the property, relearn the deer. So your first year after that, even I would probably say your first 2 years are going to be
this is going to be another
big learning year.
It's another learning year, and that's why, like I said, we bought a few more cameras, plan to put a few more out. This is me and Tom just been putting a couple each week out.
And I think that's where cameras like really shine, is when you don't know a piece, you don't know where how they move around. You can walk it a bunch, but when you can see any time of day with a camera, it really helps you show how they use the property at different times a year.
And like that's a big thing for us. Like I don't want to make a destination that didn't have natural activity at it, because I'm trying to learn how the property is used naturally by the deer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm putting minerals out, but it's only on active trails.
Yeah,
that
you're
they're
not
using
putting them
anyway.
in some random place to pull deer from somewhere else to get a look at them. You're just setting up where you already know they are.
Yeah. So
That's-
I think. Oh, go ahead.
That's another thing I wanted to say. I mean, you can put a corn feeder out and get all kinds of pictures of deer, but corn doesn't really have the nutrients that the deer need. It's more of, see like those Snicker commercials where like he's all hungry and then he eats a Snickers bar and he's like happy for like 10 minutes.
Snickers satisfies.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, especially this time of year. That's why we like to mix our corn, which obviously the deer love and it's going to attract them, but that's why we mix in the different minerals that we do use to give.
And the additives in the corn too. You can add like protein and other minerals.
Yeah,
that
to
they
give
need.
some actual good substance for, healthy whitetails and antler growth promotion and stuff like that. So it's always good to mix in some different. We use Lucky Buck and deer cane.
Yeah, and another thing, it's a lot less maintenance too and less expensive, because you can get a gallon of deer cane, which is essentially like sodium bicarbonate and some other minerals that deer need for promoting antler growth. You can get a gallon jug of that for like $6, and
You can make it last a long time.
Well, that gallon, like if I'm gonna go off of just the way they recommend to use it. It's like $6 or $7 at Tractor Supply, and they recommend making a 4x4 square circle and dump the entire gallon down. Now that is supposed to last up to 30 days for the first application. So after 30 days, they want you to reapply, and then after that, they said every 60 days. Mm-hmm. So you're talking for the entire summer, like of when their antlers are growing, you need $21 worth of product to keep that mineral site active and healthy for the deer, versus corn. A 50-pound bag is what, $6.50 now.
You go through one of those a week.
Yeah, exactly. A week, and it was empty.
And that's
so
at
it's,
each feeder. If you have 3 feeders up, now it's $18 a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's coming down to like how much money you want to spend, the mineral sites are probably better for the deer health-wise, and it's a lot cheaper to run.
Yeah, and
So-
what me and Dad always do, just find like an old punky log that's laying
Exactly
around.
how we did this.
Dump it on a log, and they'll chew on the log for, all summer long. They'll eat the freaking thing. There won't be anything left.
That's what the Lucky Buck is, a powder.
Yeah,
and it smells like Kool-Aid.
It does
it's
not taste like Kool-Aid.
It's
Yeah,
not.
it smells very good.
But yeah, they actually recommend just like dumping it on like a rotted stump. So I just, in a place that was logged a few years ago, there's a lot of rotted stumps by deer trails. So we just took the entire bucket, and they also recommend like it's like once a month, and those buckets I think are $10 or $12. Like it's
Yeah, but
way
if you
cheaper to
just
run
throw
minerals.
a handful.
Oh yeah,
onto
that's
a log.
plenty effective. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going off of just like what the
What they
company
recommend, yeah.
to get their antler growth guaranteed.
I'm not even talking like for the antler growth purposes of using it, just like
Just
for
as
trail
attracting,
cam.
yeah.
Just to get stuff on camera, to bring them in front of your camera. If you throw a handful of that stuff on a log, you'll be getting plenty of activity at it for a long time.
Yeah.
And you can stretch it, one bucket of it for months.
You could easily use one bucket for a season on one
Yeah,
site.
for sure.
And I've noticed too with those different minerals, you don't get near the nuisance animal pictures. Like we
That's
checked
a
our
good,
camera
good point.
the other day and had over 300 pictures, and it's like raccoon,
7 raccoons in one picture.
Yeah, we did have 7 raccoons in one picture, and it's
Yeah.
like
We're like
blackbird,
climbing up on the
woodchuck,
feeder.
and then you get to the deer pictures, and there's a couple deer pictures, and it's back to blackbirds and
A
raccoons.
deer with 3 coons.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think of that, but yeah, that's a good point, that the mineral sites seem to be more appealing just to the deer.
Yeah.
So
And I guess we had the one property, we put molasses on a salt block.
Oh, the dried molasses.
Well, we've used dry and
Oh,
liquid
okay.
molasses, and apparently,
Is dry molasses just like the cookies that they sell at Country
Yeah.
Fair?
yeah, basically. But apparently, if you
Deer
want,
love them.
they
Little frosting.
say if you want to find out if you have a bear in your block, take a salt block, cover it with that molasses, and put a camera on it. And we did that, and we got a picture of that black bear.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
know if
been a
it's-
bear on the property every year.
It's all the molasses.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know if there's any truth behind it, but it's batting 1,000 for me.
That dried molasses, I think, is like promotes illegal baiting, because I don't know if you've ever seen dried molasses. It looks like dirt. And if you go to Sportsman's Warehouse, they sell dried molasses, and it's most of the time called like dirt, and it's like it literally will even advertise like undetectable by humans. Like
Super easy to hide.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah,
All
all right.
right.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Snorting some of that molasses.
Yeah. But yeah, so I always wondered why like it's like promoted that way.
Yeah,
like,
because you are supposed to, like, if you put stuff on the ground, you are supposed to excavate any dirt within, 30 days of the season. You're not allowed to have any remnants of it left.
which
So-
we know somebody that's been hit with that, so that's
Yeah.
something to really pay attention to. If you're going to put mineral sites out, make sure that there's nothing left.
Yeah.
30 days.
Yeah,
before
like
the
Frank
season.
said, you have to actually dig up the soil.
Mm-hmm.
So, something to think about.
Yeah. Or think about it like Nick said. If you want to start poaching, get that stuff and leave it out all year long.
We're not going to promote that.
We're not going to promote that at all.
What minerals and stuff are you using this year?
We pretty much only use Lucky Buck.
Yeah, I think
Mostly for me because I like the smell.
Yeah, it does smell really good, and I think what helps too is it's right at Tractor Supply, which one is close to you, and it's literally on the way out to the farm for me and Tom.
Exactly.
So whatever they're selling,
You had a
works for me.
buddy in college that had property bordering some big whitetail farm, didn't he?
Yeah, he lived in Texas, and I don't know what they.
I thought it was zinc. He
said it was phosphorus, but I don't know
Phosphorus.
what else they. I don't know if it was something that he bought or if they were just like throwing phosphorus. I don't know what exactly it was. If it was like some whitetail brand thing, I have no idea. But he said that phosphorus was the cat's pajamas for growing deer antlers.
most of the minerals and like when you buy like the bags, the liquid, there's phosphorus in it.
Yeah.
Like if you look at, I don't know exactly how much. I don't know where you would buy just like pure phosphorus.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Or even I don't even know what.
Yeah,
what
I
it
don't even
looks
know
like.
if this guy like really knew what he was talking about, but he lived in Texas. There's a lot of big deer in Texas, but that doesn't mean he knew what he was talking about. So who knows?
Moral of the story is get as much phosphorus out there as you can.
Yeah, try it out. See what happens. Maybe it'll work.
I'll leave in the comments for Tom. He'll look him over.
I always do.
Always.
What I'm trying to think.
Of what?
I'm drawing a blank where I was going. There was train has stopped.
Had a point you were about to make.
Yeah, I was
but
going
it's
to.
gone now. We'll think
Oh,
of a different one. You got it?
Yeah, totally unrelated, but this is what I was thinking too. If you're listening to this in real time on Sunday and you haven't put your doe permits in,
Oh yeah.
do it like 2 days ago because those need to be in tomorrow.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I didn't forget because I have it in an envelope already ready to go. But
Yeah, I just went and picked up my license yesterday or today. Went yesterday and they're like machine's down. So I went back
That's
today.
the best.
Yeah, it's always like the week of.
Mm-hmm. I went a
luckily-
couple days ago because everyone has 1 year that they always wait till the last day, and there's a mile-long line
Yeah,
to get your license, and I wasn't feeling that this year.
I'm gonna try and get in on the second or first and second draws.
Oh yeah, me and Dad always get our.
Yeah,
I
I
saw
never
they
got
did take away, I think 9,000 tags from 1B this year.
Ugh.
Yeah, they took away a lot.
Well, and 1B almost never makes it to the second round anyway.
Yeah, they usually.
Oh, do they?
Yep.
But I know Tom and I have a serious doe problem out at the farm, so I'm hoping
I'll come
I'd like
waste some for you.
I would appreciate it. But I'm thinking I want to get an extra doe tag early season. Just get the pregame jitters done, smoke
Yeah.
a couple does.
Yeah, just
and-
get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, yesterday we went out to the farm and did a little lawnmower maintenance, scraped the deck, sharpened the blades, all that good stuff. On my way home, it was about 7:30, and on the neighboring property, it's a big soybean field, counted 18 deer out in there.
Nice.
One confirmed buck, but
Really?
a bunch of confirmed does as well.
Don't you wish that they would always hang out that early? It
Yeah.
seems like they're always popping out last second.
And you always see them like this time of year. They're all the way out in the middle of the field, so they came through edge of the field at
20 minutes ago.
yeah. So all kinds of daylight, but then once you want to shoot them, then
I seriously think I think we make that happen just by putting pressure in the woods. I don't think the deer know that, at a certain time we're supposed to start coming out later. I think it's our pressure, because if you think about it, like people that don't hunt, like I know like our grandparents, they don't hunt and nobody hunts on their property. And my grandpa used to always have like that corn feeder out behind the house, and they would see turkeys all day. They would see deer all day. Like it didn't matter. And so I do believe that it's like the pressure we put on them that
you got to think,
that.
like this time of year, we start going into the woods, checking trail cameras, putting up mineral sites, trimming tree stands. And, obviously you're leaving a lot of scent in the woods, driving equipment back
and
there.
how often when you go check trail cameras do you see tails jumping?
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a necessary evil. If you're going to get into where the deer are, you're going to see deer, hopefully.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Any new cameras you're running this year?
I just actually bought 2 Lone Wolf custom gear, 4 Lone Wolf custom gear. I bought 2, Dad bought 2.
I'm kicking myself for not jumping on that Father's Day deal because they had them for $100.
Yeah, they're still on sale
for $150.
Yeah.
But it sucks because if you buy 2, it's like you could have got 3.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, as soon as that sale was going on, I bought 2, and I told my dad, I was like, hey, they're a nice camera. And
yeah, well,
he bought 2 more.
And I'll tell you what, I forgot how nice they were because I run 2 of them right now. But I went and just bought some Browning cameras. I don't remember what the name. It was that one that they like did the commercial. They like recorded the whole commercial from the trail camera because they claim it's got such good video and audio and everything. So I was like, all right. So I got one of those, and I forgot how convenient it was having the app on my phone to see exactly where
What
the
you're
camera's
looking
pointing. Because like I grabbed that camera, put it up on the tree, and then we're playing the whole game of like I'm at the tree moving it, and Tom's like a little to the left, and then I moved it too much. He's like, oh, back to the right, like, and I'm like, man.
And then you're jamming sticks behind it to make it. Yeah.
So I was a little disappointed that I didn't jump on those cameras because it was really nice to see exactly where the camera's pointed. There's no guessing whatsoever.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite features of that.
What I do
there
like
is
about
no guessing game.
Yeah, the Browning was super simple to set up too. It's literally turn it on, hit OK, and it's countdown starts. Which I mean, the Lone Wolf ones are really nice too. You literally just turn them on and they're taking pictures. So.
Yeah, that's the only new camera that I have. We've had Stealths and Moultries for years, and I've been happy with both of them. So.
Yeah, Tom and I are finally this year. We've been like replacing a few cameras. Like it had to have been 10, 15 years ago. My dad bought a huge lot of refurbished Moultries, I believe.
Yeah.
And they're finally dead. Which I mean that's a great life.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Great life on a camera. But Tom and I used to have probably 15 cameras, and then like all of these ones just started shitting the bed. And it's like not
down
worth,
to 4 now.
Well, yeah, it's not worth like when most of them have already started to die. It's not worth putting these other old ones out because they're literally they're all on their last legs. So I just bought a couple cameras. I bought 2 last year. I bought 2 this year. I think Tom's buying some more, and just slowly replacing the old stock just because.
Oh, with the old and with the new.
But we started putting the wood hoods on them as well because Scott had said he's got cameras that are 10, 15 years old.
Yeah, they're still working great.
So I figured throw those on there for insurance and good to go.
Yeah, we run 9 cameras right now with the 4 Moultries, the 4 Lone Wolves that we just bought. And yeah, I don't have any complaints about any of them. They're all
good deal. I do like the one. I know last year was the first year I bought cameras that had audio on the video. It's kind of a neat feature.
Definitely not necessary, but it's just kind of cool to hear.
If you're gonna like share your pictures with friends or something, it's kind of or videos. I guess the pictures don't need audio, but it's kind of neat.
Yeah, I don't think the audio would make much sense with a picture.
No, not at all.
But you know what I was thinking? Since we were talking about trail cameras and stuff, you know how we do like the big buck alert throughout deer season.
We should do it.
Yeah,
I'm into that.
I'm in.
Now that bucks are really starting to get horn on their head.
Starting to get horny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely submit your pics.
Doesn't even have to be deer because sometimes you get some neat pictures of a coyote pissing on your salt block.
Me and Dad had a video of a coyote chasing a deer
Really?
It was a few weeks ago. It wasn't like a great video.
So we'll do pick/video of the week.
Yeah.
We'll totally. I think. Yeah, maybe we've got some hats with the old logos. Maybe we can do some little giveaways or something with that.
Heck yeah.
So submit your pictures and videos from trail cameras. Try and select one a week, and it'd be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a feeling
We
Scott's
should
gonna
put
be
a
sending
post
lot.
up
Oh yeah, I will.
to remind the people. Yeah, Scott. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, he runs a lot of cameras. He should.
He said like 30 cameras or
he's
something like
got a
that.
lot.
And we were talking like his property is only as big as the farm Tom and I hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure. Like it's not a huge piece.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like 30 cameras. I'm like, my dad was like, well, he probably doesn't have anything on there that gets past him.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest testament was I don't even know. It might have been off air. We were talking to him about him and his hunting partner. They had a number out on this buck that they were wanting to kill this year or last year. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but based off their cameras and they mark everything down to like the barometric pressure, wind direction, time, everything.
He's
Very, very calculated. And he made a comment where he knew that this certain buck, because of the conditions on this particular night, was either going to be one of two places. He had it narrowed down to it's either going to be here or here. He sat one place, Brad sat the other place, and they killed that buck that night.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the guy knows what he's doing when it comes to using his cameras efficiently. And that's not like a only one-time story with Brad. Like or Scott and Brad.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to
they
bring them
definitely
back
have
on
it
soon.
narrowed way down to a science.
Yeah, way above what we've got into our cameras, but they've got a few more years of experience on us. But I'm hoping, I enjoy having them on because I learn a ton listening to those two
They're
talk.
very knowledgeable.
So, we ought to wrap it up there.
Because I'm sweating.
It's humid.
Yeah, even skinny people sweat today.
Yeah, these bigger guys are not okay. On that note, make sure you guys are all getting your cameras out and getting your mineral sites out if it's legal, or the dried molasses if that's your thing.
Hopefully it's not your thing.
Yeah. So signing off now. White Cat Outdoors. Get outside.